All right, guys, I know this one will probably be a hate it or love it for most of you, but I'm actually kind of excited to check this one out. Ever since a while ago that KDP Ross featured one of these on his channel, and I think that's probably been a couple of years ago, maybe even longer. I'm not really sure exactly which model he exactly even has, but what they do, Dietrich does is they it's called an OT, and that stands for organic time. And then each time they change it, it'll be, whatever, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one's the sixth one, there's a seventh one. And so it's actually kind of a cool formula. You can see it on the side of the case here. This is an OT-6. So every time they change a colorway or something like that, and it's also on the dial there too, they can just change the model number. It's very a nice way to catalog their changes, I think. So, but before we get into the watch, first of all, I want to say thank you to Tony for lending this in, because like I said, I've wanted to check one of these out for a very long time. So, but I want to cover real quick what they're supposed to come with, whether you buy it new or if you're looking for in the used market. I urge you to make sure that you get a complete kit, because unfortunately, just like a lot of other watches, there's some unsavory folk out there that will pass on a non-authentic watch. So you want to make sure you have the box, first of all, okay? And then you want to make sure you have the bag that, they call this the bag. This is the storage bag. And then that's its slot it goes in. Make sure you have your membership paperwork. And then it's very important that you have the warranty card. Okay, that's your dealer and warranty card. You want to make sure you have that. And then it should also come with this organic time book. Very bold, right? So very cool. I love the colors. That's all part of the experience when you're dealing with this line. So it has a full story here. It tells you a breakdown of the components. It's a very cool book, actually. So it's nice that these are included with it. So it gives you all the detail, close-up pictures and everything, and a little bit of storyline behind the creator. So there he is. All right, so now that I've touched on that, we'll get this out of the way and we will talk about the watch. So first thing I want to do is I want to talk about the size, the specs of the size, because although it may look, certainly unique, but the size maybe seems large. But when I started speccing it out, it's actually not that big of a watch, really. 46 millimeter across. Only, it's hard to determine what a lug-to-lug would be because of this case design. But I think it's around a 47.8 if you kind of catch it where the lugs would probably be. It's 13.7 thick. And if you were going to put a different strap in there, I think you definitely want to go with a 24 millimeter. You could probably skate by with a 22, but I think to be on the safe side, you're going to want a 24. But the strap that they include with it is actually pretty slick. And I noticed in the book there too, there's some other iterations. So I'm not sure if you can go on their site and maybe get some different materials. But this strap that it is included with pairs up really good with it, and it has nice hardware and keepers and everything. So while we're talking about that, actually, let's do a wrist shot. Well, there's what I have on wrist, but I'm going to put the Dietrich on. I'll take this Hermida off. Bear with me, guys. And it just, on my 7.25 inch wrist, it wears perfect. This is, I think many have described as a very unique wildcard watch that also has a lot of pop or charisma to it. I mean, it has a lot going on there. You can tell none of this stuff is off-the-shelf stuff. I mean, even the movement, I know a lot of people are divisive on the movement because it is a Miyota 82-S-7 movement, which is, maybe not the movement that a lot of people would have picked, but, I mean, most, not most, but a lot of the components, you can tell, obviously, the way the display is on this, have been swapped out to capture the look that they were going for on this thing. So I wouldn't get too hung up on the movement. It is a automatic, or you can wind it. It is a non-hack, and so you just, when you pop it out, you're just going to do time setting. Okay, so nothing crazy, but it does have a 24-hour register. See if I can get it out of the way there. You can see it kind of rotating around, so you do know if you're in the AM or PM. Do you see what I'm talking about over there on the left-hand side? You see that over there? See around that yellow glow spot over there, which is also loomed. I'll give you a loom shot at the end, but you can see that gear actually rotates around, and everything is super decorative on this. So you can see everything mechanical moving underneath all of this unique crystal shape and display. And then of course you have the small seconds here registering. You can see the yellow tip there. I'm pretty sure that's loomed as well. And that's your small seconds hand. There's also printing on the underside of the crystal. So if you look at that, that's your like minute track for the most part, okay? And your hour plots. And of course you have tons of information. It's all layered. So of course you have your labeling there, you have your 24-hour counter over there, you have some orange bits down below and on top, and then the automatic. So everything kind of ties in. I wish I could get a little bit zoomed in closer even for you guys, but so you can see that X cross brace that's through the center there, and it's a little bit different symmetrical wise in the center, but if you look at it, it kind of bridges out and actually kind of appears like it's part of the structure where these screws are, but that's just aesthetic. It's not actually part of the structure, but it's a really cool, unique design feature, I think. So now the way the strap works is it just kind of feeds through here, so it's a little funky to get in and out, but because you can see it's contoured to fit the back of the watch. But I want to show you the back of the watch too. So it has a nice simple case back here. The other thing you're going to notice for authenticity is most people seem to leave the plastic on there. The plastic protector on the back of this is going to be a thicker plastic grade than you'll typically find on a lot of watches. And then of course you'll have the serial number there, and the plastic protector on the back is definitely going to have that red bar going across. So not a really good definitive way to authenticate your watch, but it definitely helps. So the main thing is to make sure you have a full kit, I think. So to fish this through, you kind of got to start it and then fish it through, and then you can pop it through the rest of the way. And then it'll settle right in. So really neat design. I'm actually a big fan of that. And there's, like I said, each of the iterations is going to have different colorways for them, and then possibly even different materials. I can't remember if they used titanium or not, but I think they did use some other materials. It's a push-pull crown, and you can see on the crown there, it's kind of their logo. I think it's a DD, like Dietrich Designs or something like that. And then, well, that's on the box. I'm not going to get into that. So, but overall, I think it's a very interesting watch. Super happy that Tony sent it over for me to check out. It's so dynamic underneath that crystal. I mean, there's a lot going on there. That was not a simple thing to do. The original development to land on this design, I think, is actually really cool, and I'm glad that they were bold enough to do this, because it makes some really cool wildcard watches. Let me close you out with a little bit of a loom shot. It does actually have loom. I was trying to keep this under. So you can see on the small seconds there, the hour and the minute hand, and then behind that 12-hour or the 24-hour counter, you can see it's loomed. All right, guys, thanks for bearing with me on that tail end of that. I'll talk to you soon.